And by attacking Caitlin Clark from all directions when she first arrived to the league, the media had a lot to gain.
Was trying to redirect a pass. Clark. Oh my! From Schenectady!
The other way. First in the league in fast break points.
Clark connects on a deep three. Clark eyes up behind the back through the lane, lays it in.
Is this the most dominant rookie season in the history of professional basketball, regardless of gender? From the very first time Caitlin Clark stepped onto a WNBA court, something felt different. The energy, the attention, the numbers, everything pointed to one undeniable fact. Caitlin Clark had arrived, and she wasn't here just to play. She was here to dominate. Selected as the #1 overall pick in the
Clark eyes up behind the back through the lane, lays it in.
2024 WNBA draft by the Indiana Fever, Clark wasted no time making an impact. Expectations were high, but she quickly turned expectations into milestones, and milestones into records. Her presence immediately sent shockwaves through the league. Caitlin Clark wasn't your average rookie. She came in with a level of polish, confidence, and skill rarely seen from a first-year player. Her performances forced fans, players, and analysts alike to question whether they were witnessing the most
Fiddly now on Nash. Nash takes him off the dribble, wrap around to Stoudemire.
outstanding debut season the WNBA had ever seen. Clark's offensive brilliance wasn't just about putting points on the board, it was the way she did it. She averaged an astonishing 24.7 points per game, placing her among the top scorers in the entire league, not just among rookies. But it wasn't just the numbers, it was the method. She had range that extended to the logo, and she wasn't afraid to pull up from 30+ feet. She slashed through defenders to finish in the paint, nailed mid-range shots off the dribble, and knocked down threes at will. Her game had no weak spots. Defenders couldn't predict her next move, and even if they did, they couldn't stop her. Clark didn't just score. She scored with efficiency and control. Her shooting percentages were a statement of elite skill. 47.5% from the field and 30.
By the end of her first season, one thing was crystal clear. A monster had arrived.
Wheeler finds Clark from the logo.
9.8% from three-point range. These weren't easy shots. She took contested step-backs, fadeaways under pressure, and deep bombs with defenders in her face. And she still hit them at a clip most veterans would envy. They'll punish you. The same is true for Clark. Teams in the WNBA are already extending their defense farther than ever before, just to account for her limitless range. If she were to play in the NBA, this would remain one of her biggest strengths.
I feel confident in her mid-range.
And I think Iowa is okay giving up the mid-range.
Here's Clark driving in for...
And let's talk about degree of difficulty. Clark isn't taking easy, wide-open threes. Her shots are often contested, off balance, or off the dribble. Yet she still converts at an elite clip. The same is true for Curry, Lillard, and Young, whose three-point percentages might not be the highest in the league, but whose ability to hit difficult shots makes them unguardable. So, would Clark's shooting translate to the NBA? Absolutely. She has the range, she has the accuracy, and she has the shot creation ability that makes her a legitimate deep ball threat at any level. The real question is, how would she handle NBA defenses? And that's where things get interesting. Caitlin Clark isn't just a shooter, she's a masterful playmaker. One of the best facilitators women's college basketball has ever seen. For multiple seasons, she led the entire NCAA in assists.
Think about it, his money racket the last round, so he'll be warmed up by there. He's not your average there.
Finishing her senior year, averaging 8.6 assists per game. The combination of court vision with creativity along with defensive manipulation ability marks her performance as truly generational. Among elite floor generals the NBA has ever seen, she emulates the passing techniques of Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Paul and Nash distinguished themselves by being exceptional passers who functioned as surgical operators on the court. They understood every defensive rotation pattern and could foresee opportunities before they materialized while they carried precise knowledge about positioning their teammates to take the best scoring opportunities. Clark demonstrates basketball intelligence at the same high level as his peers. She monitors the court for open opportunities while delivering precise passes to receivers who remain unaware of their scoring positions.
That they have had against teams over 500. They were not beaten in February by a team over 500. That's a rainbow by the Don.
Says Zoo, take a look at this one.
Her ability to execute the pick-and-roll play sets her apart from other players. The NBA relies heavily on pick-and-roll maneuvers, so Clark already proves she has elite-level abilities to make the right decisions when executing these plays. She delivers precise passes to teammates in every situation, including bounce passes to roll men and cross-court lasers to shooters and defender-splitting moves and over-the-top passes to open cutters. Clark possesses all the possible passes in the NBA playbook. And she doesn't just execute these passes. She does it with flair, making some of the most ridiculous assists look effortless. That's prime Nash and CP3 territory. Now, would her playmaking translate to the NBA? Absolutely, but with some adjustments. The biggest challenge would be handling NBA-level length and athleticism. In college and the WNBA, Clark can fire passes over defenders or slip them through tight windows.
You women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark.
But in the NBA, passing lanes close instantly. She'd have to adapt to the speed and strength of NBA defenders, who recover faster and disrupt passing lanes more aggressively. Elite facilitators Nash Paul and Luka Doncic demonstrate through their performances that intelligence surpasses physical attributes when it comes to playmaking abilities. Elitism in facilitation never required pure speed or explosive movements from any of these players. Ball fakes together with hesitation moves and changes in pace, and deceptive passing angles served as their enemies' beating tactics. Clark already plays with that level of intelligence. She understands spacing, manipulates defenders with her eyes, and makes instantaneous decisions under pressure. Give her time to adjust, and she'd still be a high-level passer at any level.
No one could have predicted the storm she'd unleash. From day one, she didn't just meet those expectations.
And let's not forget, Clark isn't just a good passer, she's an entertainer. Whether it's behind-the-back assists, no-look dimes, or half-court lobs, she has that same flash that made Nash and CP3 such captivating players to watch. If she ever stepped onto an NBA court, you can bet she'd still be dropping highlight reel assists that make defenders shake their heads in disbelief. So, shooting? Elite. Playmaking? Next level. The biggest question mark is the ability of her defense against NBA opponents. The following part reveals additional intriguing details. The WNBA subjects Clark to persistent defensive challenges through full court pressure, double-team defense, and physical contact. But the NBA? That's another level. She'd be up against longer, faster, and stronger defenders every night. A great comparison is Trae Young. At 6 feet 1 inch and 165 pounds, he thrives despite his size through elite shooting, crafty ball handling, and foul drawing ability. Clark, at 6 feet 0 inches and 155 pounds, would need similar tools to survive. What Caitlin would need to improve is 3 things.
It was about rewriting the record books entirely. Remember that 19-assist game? Turns out,
tightening her handle. NBA defenders punish sloppy dribbling. She'd need to keep her dribble low and precise, like Steph Curry. Drawing fouls, players like Trae Young and James Harden manipulate defenders to get to the line. Clark would need to master this skill. Expanding her mid-range game, defenders would run her off the three-point line, so she'd need a Chris Paul-like pull-up jumper. Defending opponents would present the biggest challenge to her game. The WNBA does not expect her to shut down opponents, but NBA players would discover her defensive weaknesses. The defensive weaknesses of Curry, Young, and Nash have not prevented them from achieving success in their NBA careers. Through proper adjustments, Clark could become an effective shooting guard and playmaker despite her small stature, just like her predecessor guards in the league.
Monster had arrived.
Wheeler finds Clark from the logo.
NBA games operate at a faster rate with higher physical intensity than WNBA games do. The NBA features athletes with greater physical abilities who execute non-stop transition offense. Clark demonstrates exceptional physical capabilities because she can maintain high workloads and dictate game tempo without appearing exhausted. One concern? Contact finishing. Clark excels at finishing through contact in WNBA games, but she would face major obstacles when defending NBA rim protectors who possess different levels of physicality. She successfully navigates through WNBA defenders, but would face 7-foot defenders such as Rudy Gobert and Jaren Jackson Jr. While playing in the NBA, she would need to use floaters and mid-range jumpers and three-point shooting to create scoring opportunities against NBA defense. The reality?
Also stepped up to defend Caitlin Clark, and his words were just as impactful. Gervin didn't shy away from calling out the disrespect, making it clear that Caitlin's talent is something to be celebrated.
Casting an NBA team requires extreme difficulty even when considering the most talented male players coming from college. The combination of elite shooting skills and high basketball IQ and playmaking abilities provides Clark with an opportunity to secure a role on an NBA team. In a hypothetical NBA transition, Clark would excel most similarly to Trae Young in scoring combined with Steve Nash's passing abilities and Chris Paul's on-court direction abilities. Her basketball intelligence along with offensive abilities would assist her in adapting to defending players who are bigger and more athletic. The main discussion centers around Clark's ability to succeed in the NBA instead of her potential to establish a specialist role. The discussion will continue, but Caitlin Clark proves herself as one of basketball's most talented and influential athletes across all gender categories. She influences the game while reshaping public perception about women's basketball, even if she would not enter the NBA.
Because it shows exactly why she deserves all the respect she's earned.
But now I want to hear from you. Do you honestly believe Caitlin Clark could hold her own in the NBA? Could she actually make an impact against the world's best male players? Or would the size, speed, and physicality be too much to overcome? This debate is heating up and your voice matters. So drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get a real conversation going down there. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into the biggest basketball debates out there, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. This is True WNBA, where the game lives on and the conversation never stops.